Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of how to draw Superman. Today we're going to be doing some inking. If you haven't seen part 1 of the pencil drawing, I'll leave a link on the top right there to the previous video so you can go ahead and watch that. But today we're going to be using Sakura Micron pens, more importantly the number 5mm pen, and that's the largest one in the set, and also a Sharpie. So what we're going to do here, we're going to use the 5 to kind of do the shade lines, and we're going to use the Sharpie to do the heavy outlining. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're starting with the number 5 micron pen. So let's go ahead and get started. And I will be speeding through some of these parts. So here we go. Okay, so first thing here that I like to do when inking is start with a good solid outline. There's not many tips I can give you on inking besides, you know, kind of keeping a steady hand, and also remembering line weight. So I like to start with, you know, doing a good outline of most parts. I'm doing his jawline right now, but I like to keep a heavy outline, and here I'm using the number 5 micron pen, but I do go back over it with the Sharpie because I just kind of felt like it was a little too thin of a line, you know, for my liking. So one other thing I like to do is when two lines meet, I like to kind of keep it, give it a thicker kind of edge, just to give it more weight and depth. But yeah, it's pretty simple to ink something. It's just a matter of tracing over what you've done already. But when you're working with a Sharpie, one of the techniques I use is, since the tip of a Sharpie is, you know, basically like an arrow or 5 point, I like to use the very tip of it most of the time, but then sometimes I'll kind of turn it at an angle, at about a 45-degree angle when I'm drawing, and I'll get a side of it coloring in as well to get a thicker line, just to kind of vary up the line weights a little bit. But when inking, you just basically need to take your time, and it can honestly, it could be a little bit messy. Like right now I'm kind of making it look a little messy on the hair, because a lot of that's going to be heavily darkened in when I start adding in more heavy black with the Sharpie. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and cut here and do a little bit more inking on the hair, and then we'll cut back in once we got the hair almost done there. Okay, so now I'm starting to add in more of the heavy black, as you can see. The key when doing hair is kind of keep your lines fluid, and if you're doing black hair, you know, it's okay to add in more darker colors there, and just add in where you think the shadow will be. I like to keep the shadow towards more of the root of the hair. That way it kind of looks like the light is coming in from the top and not hitting him head on. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish off this hair here. So when doing shade lines, the only tip I can really give you is, you know, put your lines closer together when you want to create more of a darkened area, and start spacing them out when you want it to look lighter. Since there's not really much of a way to apply pressure to a pen, because it'll always make the same line, or the same shade of line. The only way to really get depth and shadow out of pen or marker is to vary up line weights and how closely you lay the lines together. And now here I am shading in some of the face. When shading in the face, you definitely want to take your time here. Use a lot of caution and really kind of just slow down and figure out what you're going to do beforehand when you're shading, and just focus on getting those lines right, because with hair you can really kind of botch it up as much as you want and put in a lot of extra lines. But with the face, if you ink something a little too much, make something too dark, it starts to look really weird. And also here I shade in the upper lip just to give them a little bit more depth. And I personally like the look of having lips on certain characters. A lot of people kind of stray away when they're drawing masculine characters from drawing lips on male characters, since it seems kind of like a feminine thing. But I mean, everybody has lips, why not draw them in? So let's go ahead and because right now we're just doing a little bit of symmetry work here. Let's go ahead and finish up the face. Okay, so now we're going to start shading in underneath the jaw. This is where the most heavily darkened area is going to be on this picture, just so I can kind of show that this part is definitely farther back and overshadowed by his jaw and his head, so there's not much light getting there and casting down on that. So and this part here, it's fairly simple. I like to kind of keep with the curvature of his traps and the curvature of his neck, and just definitely varying up some line weights there. And it does look a little sloppy since this is a sketch. And yeah, the really just, you know, be aware of how or where you're laying down the ink. So now we're starting to approach the finishing touches area of this video. I start adding in a simple background here and just kind of giving it a little something so it's not just a blank negative background with nothing there. And I just add in some very heavy black with lines kind of fading up and just getting lighter. It's very simple, but I just wanted to make a quick Superman sketch for you guys to kind of give you an idea on how to draw Superman, or the way I draw him, and kind of inspired by the way Jim Lee does it. But yeah, right now on this part of the video, I believe I just do the background here, and then I go back in and add a little bit of extra shading underneath the left side of his jaw, since I didn't actually put any shading lines there, and also do some extra shading on his chest where the S symbol is. And the S symbol is honestly probably the easiest part of this picture. It's just going over the lines I did before. Most of the trick comes with shading in his face and his hair, but inking usually doesn't take that long. It's not that big of a task, but yeah, it's definitely a fun and crucial part of drawing something. Now finally here, I still have to do the extra lines here, but I actually use a kneaded eraser, and it's kneaded as in like you're kneading dough. And the kneaded eraser is awesome because it's an eraser that doesn't wear out, and it's kind of like a silly putty type of material, but it's designed to pick up like pencil lines or pencil or graphite from the paper instead of, you know, rubbing it off. So to wrap this up, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with a couple of links here. On the left, you'll see one of my speed drawing videos of Zephyr, and on the right, you will see a link to one of the videos I did on my other channel called Only Strongman. It's a gaming channel, and me and a couple friends record ourselves playing some games. So yeah, if you guys want to see some funny videos on that, please feel free to check that out, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, have a good day.